Hello everyone, welcome back to HDcast episode 10. I'm your host, Hector Delgado Jr., and today we're going to be talking football. And as promised in HDcast episode 8, we're going to be talking a Super Bowl preview. And so today I'm going to be giving pros and cons for each team, as well as an X factor for each player, as well as a prediction on who's going to win. And I'm going to throw a score in there as well. So first off, we're talking the pros for the Chiefs. So obviously they have the best offense in the league in my mind, and they can get out of any hole as seen in the last few games in the playoffs, where they were in big deficits and then they dug out of it with their explosive offense. And also they're starting to get a little bit more healthy with playmakers Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and LaShawn McCoy all returning and getting to 100%. And of course, they have plenty of playmakers on both sides of the ball. As I mentioned, they have an explosive offense. And like I touched on in my last video, they have guys like Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce. They also have Damian Williams. And they just have so many playmakers on the offensive ball. But also they have some guys on the defensive side of the ball. They have, like I mentioned, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, who led the team in sacks. But my favorite player on their team is Tyrann Mathieu. I loved him when he was on the Arizona Cardinals, and he's just such a difference maker. I saw a play where he faked a blitz, stopped Deshaun Watson's first read, and then ran him out of bounds all in one play. And I think he's one of the best players individually on the Chiefs defense. So he's one of the best playmakers among a team of really, really good playmakers. But that's all the Chiefs pros right there real quick. The cons is, although they're getting some of their playmakers back on defense, their defense has struggled quite a bit in the playoffs. So in the regular season, they are, I believe, ranked 7th in defense, only giving up 19 points a game. But in the playoffs, they've been giving up 27 points a game. And a lot of that was in the first half. I think Titans scored 17 in the first half, and then the Texans scored 21 or 28 or something like that. I can't remember. It was 3 weeks ago. Either way, so they've been really struggling on defense in the first half. So I think that's going to be their biggest issue. I think they're getting better because in the second half of both those games, they really shut them down and really improved towards the end. But with that being all said, I think their X factor is going to be their defensive line. And especially because my thing is, the Niners are a fantastic run team. If they can stop the run, they're going to have to force Jimmy Garoppolo into making some tough throws. So I think the defensive line is really important. And like I said, I think they have one of the best safeties in NFL. So I think that Tyrann Mathieu, Jimmy Garoppolo matchup is going to be really interesting. So it's really going to come down to, can the defensive line control the run game? But on to the 49er pros. So there is a lot of pros, but I'll try and keep it a little condensed. So they are a very well-balanced team, first off, offensively and defensively. So whatever game they need to play, the other side can step up. So for example, when they had to score a lot of points against the Saints in the regular season, they put up 48 points and won the game. But in other games where the offense isn't clicking or whatever, the defense can step up and make some key stops for them. So I think they're really balanced on both sides of the ball, and I think they complement each other. And then also really good for at least playoff football, and especially in the Super Bowl, they can control the time of possession really, really well, and that's a testament to how good they run the ball. So I think those are kind of the biggest pros for the Niners. I can definitely get into more. They have fantastic coaching, a lot of veteran leadership on defense, at least with Richard Sherman. So those are some of the pros. But the biggest con in my mind, I kind of mentioned it, was Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm just not super sold on him as being a franchise quarterback, a guy that can win you a Super Bowl. But I guess we shall see. The biggest thing for me is he reminds me a bit of last year's Jared Goff. They had a fantastic team, fantastic run game, and he can make decent plays when he needed to, but when it came down to it and they needed him to stand in there and make a throw, it just wasn't great. But to be fair, Jared Goff faced the amazing Patriots defense, and Jimmy G is going to be facing a less than stellar Chiefs defense. So that's one of the biggest cons. And along with that, can the Niners defensively keep playing in a zone? Because Tyreek Hill weeks ago made comments saying that if any team runs them man-to-man, they're going to have a bad time. And so far in the playoffs, that has rang true. If you have to guard Tyreek Hill one-on-one, that is not a matchup they're going to win, especially if you throw Richard Sherman on him or something like that. Richard Sherman is fantastic, has a lot of length and a lot of veteran leadership, but foot speed cannot keep up with Tyreek Hill. So if they can keep playing zone and don't have to play man because the Niners are running the ball so well, I think the Niners are going to be in good shape. And back to the X Factor, like I've touched on a few times, Jimmy G is going to be the difference in this game. I think everyone knows that the Niners can run the ball. Everyone knows that. So, can they force them to throw the ball, and can Jimmy G make those throws? Can he make a game-winning throw, stand in the pocket, and make some tough plays? I'm not sure. I'm not super sold on it, like I said, but we shall see. That's why he's the X Factor. So, I kind of broke it down into categories. So, offensively, who's the better team? It's got to go to the Chiefs off just pure explosiveness. Now, I think scheme-wise and how they run their offense, I think the Niners are a little bit better. That goes more into coaching, which I'll touch on in a minute. But I think the Chiefs are the better offensive team. Defensively, I'm going to go with the Niners because they're more consistent. I think the Chiefs have some great playmakers, and the defensive coordinator is doing a really good job, a lot better than last year. But the Niners defense is just so consistent, and they have so much veteran leadership, and they have, in my mind, probably the best coaching prospect as their defensive coordinator. I don't know why the Browns didn't make him their defensive coordinator or their head coach. Either way, it's another story. Special teams. I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. I think both teams have had their issues. The Niners had a lot of kicking issues earlier on in the year. That's kind of gotten better. But throughout the playoffs, I think the Chiefs' special teams have just made some stellar plays. I remember when I was watching the Titans game, they absolutely turned around the game in 2 plays. One of them was like a return that was like went for 60 yards or something like that, and another one was like a down punt in the 1-yard line. So I think special teams, the playoffs so far, the Chiefs have done better. And coaching, like I kind of touched on, I think the Niners have a better coaching team altogether with Michael Strahan and their defensive coordinator. It's really close because Ed Reed is such an offensive talent, and their offensive coordinator for the Chiefs is also one of the higher coaching prospects for head coach. But I think it goes either way. But I'm going to go with the Niners just because I think Mike Shanahan has been fantastic this year. So on to my prediction. So this is a really hard prediction to make. I kind of flip back and forth each day. But today I'm going to go Chiefs 31-28. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be high scoring. And I think your Super Bowl MVP is going to be Patrick Mahomes. I mean, who else could it be? But that is all I have for you guys today. Who do you guys think is going to win MVP? Do you guys think that Patrick Mahomes is going to win it like I said? Or do you guys see Jimmy G stepping up, making that Super Bowl MVP? Or maybe a surprise player like Raheem Mostert, or maybe on the Chiefs side, Tyreek Hill. Who knows? Let me know in the comments below what you think. And if you guys liked the video, please give it a like, subscribe, share the video. We're almost at 50 subscribers, so if you guys can get us there, that would be awesome. But once again, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.